Now, fatty acids exist in the body and in food, and they're moved around in the form of triglyceride. And a triglyceride has a backbone that is a glycerol molecule, and here again are several different structural representations of glycerol, but basically it's a triol. It's a 3-carbon chain with 3 alcohol groups or hydroxyl groups on it. All right, and triglycerides are continually packed together and unpacked depending on where you are in the metabolism. But basically the triglycerides are formed when 3 fatty acids combine with 1 glycerol in a condensation reaction to give a triester, which is called a triglyceride. Okay, so it's just 1 glycerol or glycerin, those words are used interchangeably, 1 glycerin molecule that has had 3 fatty acids chemically bound to it by a condensation reaction. So you see split off 3 water molecules, and you can see here the 3-carbon backbone for the glycerol is 1, 2, 3, and then on each one of those carbons you have an ester linkage linking the fatty acid chain to the glycerol backbone. Okay, so this is a very common type of chemical reaction that occurs, a condensation reaction. And so the fatty acids are linked together with the triglycerides, and that's how they're stored and moved around your body. Okay, and so here's just a table from your book that shows some common fatty acids, some saturated fatty acids, and some unsaturated fatty acids. Okay, you don't need to memorize the names, but notice that all of the names are ic acid, and that's sort of the general nomenclature rule for naming fatty acids. And then the names vary based on the type of hydrocarbon chain that exists on the fatty acid. Okay, so fatty acids are packaged together with the glycerol, and that's how they're stored and moved around your body as triglycerides. That's how they're stored in fat tissues and whatnot. And then when the body needs to access the energy that's stored in the fatty acid, or excuse me, in the triglyceride, what the body does then is it reverses this reaction and breaks down the triglyceride into the individual. Sometimes it takes off 1, sometimes it takes off all 3, and then there are enzymes that recognize this carboxylic acid head group and then start breaking down the fatty acid chain in groups of 2 carbons.